You clicked on this because you have a dream.
You're hoping not to look back 10, 20, 30 years from now and say, success, I played it safe, that's all I wanted.
Or is the roamer inside of you going to slap you upside the head and say, we never saw the Grand Canyon?
Or the Pacific Ocean. Or the Rocky Mountains.
Or the Florida Keys? Or the beautiful Sonoran Desert? We're on a path to adventure.
And we know you are too.
Hey roamers, glad you're back.
This is part 2 in our series about getting from normal, safe, boring lives to a life of adventure.
The number one question asked of all full-time RVers is how you make a living on the road.
Life is just too short. We are on the cusp of 60, and we can tell you in just a blink of an eye, you 30 and 40-year-olds, you'll be here too.
So pay attention.
The situation that we are now facing with the pandemic has created some positive long-term changes.
In the past, we would have thought it's not like corporations are just handing out remote positions.
And then the pandemic hit. And immediately, employees who already had company laptops were told to stay home and they could work from home. But at least at my company, people who used a PC, a desktop, were told, no, you'll have to still come into the office and we'll just spread people out because the people who had the laptop would be able to stay at home. Just a couple weeks later, I saw employees pulling up to the front door of the building, and IT teams were coming out with cartloads with the people's desktop computers and loading them in their cars. And then IT teams were created in order to help the people get set up at home.
I own my own insurance agency and I haven't had an actual office in years. Since I don't have an actual office, I don't have actual office hours.
Which means he's pretty much available to his clients all the time.
A year ago, when I had a Medicare appointment, that meant meeting with seniors in their homes and explaining their choices. People hitting Medicare age today have lived with computer technology and the internet, so now with this pandemic, they're absolutely fine with virtual meetings.
Actually embracing it. So again, big change creates opportunities, and in this case, opportunities for nomads to continue their regular job while traveling. With this, companies may not need to keep the big buildings that they had, they can downsize.
And teams can still meet via Skype or Zoom.
Employees are happier and enjoy their jobs more when they get to work from home.
The pandemic has made online work normal and easier.
Be sure to watch to the end because we're going to list some other really great employment opportunities. Our very special guests today are our friends Kent and Lisa Peterson. They're an enthusiastic, spirit-filled couple encouraging others, thousands of others, to just follow their motto, grabbing life by the tail.
They have found many ways to earn an income on the road, and I encourage others to just do it. Go ahead and live a fulfilling, abundant life.
Let's see what they have learned about making money on the road in our video right now.
Hey guys, my name's Lisa.
Hey, my name is Kent, and we are Living Light RV, and we have been living full-time RVing for the last 20 months plus.
Yep, and when Jamie and Linda reached out to us to do a collab with them and talk about making an income while we're on the road, we jumped at the chance. We got to meet these guys when we were in Quartzsite. It was so great. We wish we could have had more time to visit. I mean, that's just the life of a full-time RVer. There's too many goodbyes and not enough hellos.
That's right. But that was awesome that you guys got to have some campfire time around the campfire with us. That was great. And we're looking forward to 2021 Quartzsite.
Yes, we are. It's going to be fantastic. Do you need sunglasses?
Yes.
It's so bright all of a sudden. So the big question is, how do you create an income while you are living a nomadic lifestyle?
Yeah, and that is actually a few different pieces for us. One is we, through the summer months while we're in Canada, while we're in our home province, we work camp.
Yeah, work camping is basically having a seasonal job.
Yes.
Typically, we like to stay in campgrounds because our pad rental is sometimes included or discounted or whatever.
And all of our utilities also.
Yeah, exactly. And the commute is pretty nice.
That's right.
Yeah, so this is our second year of working at a campground for the summer.
Yeah, and one of the benefits of work camping is you get to live in an amazing place where weekend RVers get to come out and spend 2, 3, 4, 5 days and then pack up everything and drive all the way home. And they might do that 3 or 4 or 5 times a season. We get to do it the entire season.
Exactly. It's amazing. And this location is incredible. We are in southern Alberta in Canada, and it is gorgeous.
Yes.
I just wanted to touch really quickly on what kind of tasks you could expect to do in work camping. I know there's a lot of different positions out there. I am housekeeping, so I'm cleaning bathrooms, cleaning cabins, making sure the campground looks pretty on the inside spaces. And what are you doing?
I'm doing maintenance, so I'm fixing things that need to be repaired or painted or improved or installed. Plus, I'm doing lawn maintenance and yard maintenance, so we're trimming of certain trees and doing all of the grass cuttings and doing all of the beautification, even installing signage and those kinds of things.
Yeah, and last year I was working in the office, so answering phones, taking reservations, all that kind of stuff. Now, some people might say, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to work all summer? I mean, summer's a time for playing and exploring and hiking and visiting. And the reason we do that is so that we can provide that income in the summer, that we can go live in the fall and winter without having to make as much money.
That's right.
How do we do that? I mean, life is expensive.
One of the ways we do that is we make sure that our expenses are extremely small. So we do without a lot of things. Why? Because we get to experience a lot of things.
So sometimes when you're thinking of making an income on the road, you have to look at the flip side of that and say, how can I save money while I'm on the road? And some of those things that we do are, for a long time, we never had a towed. We just had our motorhome. We didn't have a second vehicle.
That's one. Number two, we actually buy all of our groceries at the grocery store, and we try to, while we're in the States and when we're traveling around, buy our groceries at the best place possible. And then we make and cook all of our own food.
Yeah, so we're not foodies. We don't go out to restaurants all the time, so we save a ton of money doing that.
Yes.
Another thing that we do is to do free stuff for activities. So hiking and bicycling and, just exploring an area. We do buy a national park pass, it's not sort of the basics, but we don't spend a lot of money on entertainment.
That's right. We buy a national park pass. We also buy a seasonal or a yearly pass for Thousand Trails, which pays for a ton of our accommodations. Yes. And then we boondock a tremendous amount too, which is parking out probably in the desert, collecting a lot of solar, and just doing our life unplugged.
Now, I'm going to break away from the work camping income a little bit and talk about what we did last year. Kent was actually working for the company that he had worked for previously, just taking that income source and taking it on the road. So most of what he did was web meetings, phone calls, emails, and sometimes he had to travel.
Traveling was only a tiny little bit of what I did. I had my computer open and I was doing a Zoom call, and I was on a phone call on a weekly basis walking clients through a process. Or is it process?
Process.
and that was what I was employed to do. And it wasn't a 9-to-5 position. It was a take care of a client from start to finish. Yeah. So you got to have your cell phone. You got to have. You have to have data. You have to have probably a Wi-Fi extender to catch that Wi-Fi signal when you're in a park with a little bit of more strength. And then you're ready to go. You have an office wherever you are.
Exactly. So for some of you, that might be a really good option. Take your current job and just take it on the road. Now, make a few modifications.
I want to say for work camping, there's a lot of opportunities of different positions for work camping. Number one, we signed up to be event or activity director. Yes. So lots of campsites, lots of campgrounds will have an activities director throughout the season. Now this year being a different year, that has not materialized. Number two, there's the running a store. So there can be a person running the till, the store, the front desk. There's also campground hosting, which can be just for your campsite only and actually not a wage, but it pays for all of your living accommodations there. And all you're doing is saying hi to people and dropping off wood and doing some basic campsite cleanup. So there's a lot of work, or there's a little bit of amount of work, but there's a lot of different positions depending on the campground.
Some people work at amusement parks, some people work at travel centers, some people do gate guarding.
Yes.
Maybe you could be like a tour guide for something. maybe drive a bus in the summer from a city to a location at a national park. There are so many different job opportunities. So get creative, look around and see what you can find that floats your boat, that is part of your skill set. All right, so another question is what not to do, what to be aware of. What are sort of the caveats in this whole income on the road thing?
Make sure you downsize. If you're trying to keep a house and a condo and all of your other fees going while you're living on the road, your expense is going to be extremely high.
Now, if you're only going to be on the road for a year and you're like, I'm taking 1 year sabbatical, we're going to go exploring and then we're going to go back to our old life, that's different than what we're talking about. We're talking about sell it all and start a whole new way of living, and that's our plan, is to do this for the next 20 years or so.
That's right.
So selling everything made the most sense.
So we put both feet in deep.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good thing. One thing that people think about as far as making an income on the road is YouTube. Oh, I'll just make YouTube videos and I'll let that provide my income. We want to give you guys kind of a warning and say that is not necessarily a good option for making money. It's a great option for building community. It's a great option for having a creative outlet and
for documenting what your life is and sharing it with your family.
Yeah, for sure. But it is not a great way to create an income source. You know, we make some money, but it's not a lot. Like it's less than $200 a month that we make on YouTube?
Usually at this point.
Yeah.
So guess what? That has to be only a small piece of something much bigger.
Yeah, exactly. It might make money for you long term.
Yeah.
So that's a good long-term plan, but it's definitely not like, I'm gonna hit the road and make YouTube videos and make money. That's probably not a good way to do it.
I just have to say one other thing about me being a client care provider, which I can do while I'm on the road. Sometimes, like when I went to Dawson Creek, I went there because there was a school there that I was going to work with. So I took my house there.
That was awesome.
So sometimes those things just work out very, very nicely also.
Yeah. And of course, that all plays into your taxes and that kind of thing too, as
For
far
sure.
as having a tax write-off and you have a business. That's another way you can make an income on the road, is to have your own business.
Yes.
So if you already have your own business, great. If you don't, get creative. Think about, hey, I've always wanted to start a business selling t-shirts or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That could be a good option as well.
We all know more and more people are buying online and doing online experience. So there's a lot of new opportunities to make income while you're on the road.
I think that's about it. That's kind of the extent of our knowledge as far as making an income on the road. There are lots of different ways to do it. Jamie and Linda are going to give you guys a ton of information. Thank you so much, you guys, for inviting us on your channel and for asking us these questions and collaborating with us. This is fantastic.
And I got to get back to work.
Yeah, you do.
See you later.
Take care.
Thanks, Kent and Lisa. We'll have a description to their YouTube channel in the description below.
And now we're going to talk about more ways that you can make some income while you're living in your RV on the road. At the end of this video, we'll put a list of all the ways that we've talked about, and we'll also post that on our website, and we'll put a link in the description below so that you'll be able to see it there and print it out if you need to.
Another way to make money is selling on Amazon or becoming an Amazon affiliate.
But be prepared, Amazon just cut their affiliate commissions by 80%. We have our Amazon link down below in the description. We also have it on our website. If you use this link to make any of the purchases that you would normally make on Amazon, we do get a tiny commission.
Etsy shops are another way for creative nomads.
Drivin' and Vibin', another YouTube channel that we like to watch, they sell antique map prints, and they're lightweight enough that they can carry them with them on the road and send them out from wherever they are when they get an order.
If you have products to sell, you'll have to decide if you want them drop shipped from the supplier. That way you won't have to stock and ship.
Otherwise, you're going to have to plan that you'll be taking them around with you, and where are you going to store them and how are you going to ship them. You can travel to craft fairs and festivals with your creations as well.
However, be aware this can be difficult because you may have to get certain tax permits and that can cut into your profits.
Are you handy?
You may not know a lot about RVs yet, but if you're willing to get your hands dirty, it's not really hard to learn.
Jamie can build most anything, and he can fix a lot of stuff too.
But I'm still learning, and there's always new things I need to learn owning an RV. I'm taking an online RV training course, and I really think it's worth the investment.
Eventually, he can go and take the in-person part that's after this, and it is something that he can make an income at when we're staying like at RV parks and stuff.
Yeah, being an RV tech. So as promised, here's the list of the many different ways to fund your nomadic life.
We'll also put a link in the description below to our website where we'll have the full list and you can print it out for yourself as well.
Make sure to watch next week's episode, part 3 on internet options.
With our special guest, Life Uninterrupted.